I would totally even accept it if he actually killed one of the other Autobots. For example, I'm thinking Drift is gonna die. What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching The Road to TF5. This is just a web series we're talking about Transformers last night. This is episode number 64. And in this episode, before we begin, happy early birthday shoutouts go out to Brandon Gandiza, Crafts Journey, Blueberry Kiwi, Jonathan Mendoza, Joshua Weissman, Crocodile with a K, Lizard Bro, and also Odin Moffat. Happy early birthday to all y'all. Hope you have a good one. And thank you for your support at the Ragin Nation. I really appreciate it. So let's talk about something that is a pretty big deal. Onslaught has officially joined the Decepticon team. This has been announced at michaelbay.com this morning. And it is a huge surprise because Onslaught, as we already know, is a member of the Combaticons. He's a leader of the Combaticons, and his alt mode is Mobile Artillery. A big truck with twin guns on it. But Onslaught in Transformers live action universe is the Western Star heavy duty tow truck. And that's the green one with white, green and white truck. And let's take a look at what Michael Bay has to say about it. Onslaught, noun, a fierce or destructive attack. Now this is very, very fitting. In fact, I think it's kind of awesome that this tow truck is Onslaught. I think it's very fitting because when I think of this truck, all I can think about is taking it in at face value. Everything that I've seen so far has been taken in at face value. I'm sure a lot of the fans have been looking at this and all they think about is hoist, trailbreaker, tow line, or even grapple. Now we're talking about the Michael Bay live action Transformers universe, a universe where he's known to make Autobots as Decepticons or Decepticons as Autobots. But now he's doing something entirely different. Well, it's not entirely different, but he's, pulling out one of his regular tricks, and that is changing the alt modes of a classic G1 character. And that is having Onslaught not be a mobile artillery vehicle, but be a heavy-duty tow truck. But no matter what, I think it's very, very fitting. Now, in a previous episode, or rather 2 episodes ago, I gave you my top 5 reasons why I believe that Combaticons will not appear in Transformers Last Night. And all those reasons were because of G1 related reasons. And then immediately after in the same episode, I told you my top 5 reasons why Combaticons will appear. And that is because essentially, in a nutshell, this is Michael Bay's live action universe. He can do whatever he wants. Even though, all those reasons I mentioned why he won't appear are totally valid, it doesn't matter. This is not G1. Those are G1 reasons why they won't appear. But this is not G1. This is the live action universe, and everything that you know about G1 could be changed, and this is no different. Okay? Now, this does not confirm in any way whatsoever that Combaticons are going to appear in Transformers Last Night. It only confirms one thing, and that is Onslaught is a Western Star tow truck, and also Onslaught is in this movie. That's the only thing it confirms. It does not confirm that Combaticons are going to be in it. It does not confirm that we're going to see Bruticus. It also does not confirm that we're going to see other members of the Combaticons that we know of in G1. Okay? But because we have all new writers who pretty much did a whole bunch of research in the writer's room, I'm talking about like 12 to 13 writers led by Akiva Goldsman, I'm sure that when they decided that they wanted to pick Onslaught, they did a little bit of research. They gave themselves a history lesson about who is Onslaught really? Who really is Onslaught? Well, who is Onslaught? Well, Onslaught is the leader of the Combaticons. He is a mobile artillery truck, and he makes up the body, like the torso, and the head of the Combaticons. The rest of the Combaticons make up the limbs. And once they merge to form the big guy, you have Bruticus. So that's what we know about Onslaught. Okay? Now, what we know about Onslaught in the Transformers live action universe is not only is he the tow truck, but we already see that he's got a lot of personality in him. Okay? The main personality that we know is from the fact that he has Decepticon and human kills on the back of his truck. So, just like what Michael Bay said on the website, it says a fierce and destructive attack. Well, that really tells you a lot about his character. He is strong enough to go up against Hound on a one-on-one, mano-a-mano, bare-knuckle brawl. By he, I mean Onslaught, is tough enough to go up against even Optimus Prime. So, he is going to be one hell of an opponent, let me tell you that. Okay? Now, the one thing that I'm wondering about is how big of a deal is he going to be in the movie? What I mean by that is how much screen time is he going to have? Is he going to have a big role, or is he going to have a small role like all the other Decepticons have had in the previous films? Well, he could be, for all we know, a main villain. We know that Megatron is in it, and, Megatron, even though he is the leader of the Decepticons, he's always had small roles. For example, when he's in Dark of the Moon, he was kind of a background character. In Age of Extinction, it wasn't even Megatron, it was Galvatron, and even Galvatron was kind of a background character. And in Revenge of the Fallen, come on now. I mean, you can't really call Megatron a leader of Decepticons, especially when the amount of screen time given to all the Decepticons in general was very, very limited. So I'm just wondering if Megatron is going to appear the same way as he did in the previous sequels, or is Onslaught going to take his place and actually be a main villain? Now, if he is a main villain, I really hope he puts up a fight. I really hope that he puts up a fight beating up Hound, maybe not finishing him off, but at least beating him up pretty good, or really doing some serious battle with Optimus Prime. Heck, I would totally even accept it if he actually killed one of the other Autobots. For example, I'm thinking Drift is gonna die. Maybe by the hands of Onslaught. He has, after all, killed a lot of other Autobots, and even humans in the past. I really hope he doesn't go out like his long-lost cousin Brawl. Brawl went out, he put up a good fight. Brawl put up a good fight in Transformers, the very first film, 10 years ago. I hope he doesn't go down like Brawl. I hope he really puts up a bigger fight than Brawl did in the first Transformers film. Now, Combaticons can still exist. Even though this is Michael Bay's universe and Onslaught is not a mobile artillery vehicle, they can still exist, but they won't exist the same way we know them from G1. Heck, Devastator was nothing like what he was in G1. Devastator was supposed to be made up of 6 construction vehicles. Devastator in Revenge of the Fallen was made up of 7 construction vehicles, 4 of which were actual Constructicons, one of which, Rampage, was a Predacon. Another one was Hightower, which was an Autobot construction vehicle from the Robots in Disguise series. Hightower, that's who I'm talking about. And Overload and Demolisher, like, who are those guys? You know what I'm saying? So they're not even made up of traditional Constructicon parts. So even though Devastator was a total mess, they're probably going to apply the same kind of formula to Combaticons by having Onslaught as a tow truck, but the other Combaticons, like Swindle or Vortex, they could be other types of vehicles. So I mean, heck, Bone Crusher was in the first Transformers film, and he wasn't even part of the Constructicons. He was a military minesweeping vehicle. So, you know, that tells you how much Transformers has changed in the live-action universe compared to G1, okay? So, I don't know. Combaticons can still really be in it. Vortex could be that Apache. The Volkswagen could be Swindle. I have no problem if they decide to make the Volkswagen as Swindle. But if the Combaticons are in it, and by Combaticons I mean like members of the Combaticons like Swindle and Vortex, it doesn't necessarily mean that Bruticus is going to be in it. But if they weren't going to put Bruticus in it, even though they have Combaticons in it, that's going to be a little bit of a disappointment. If I'm going to see Onslaught, if I'm going to see Swindle, and if I'm going to see Vortex, I want to see Bruticus. So they should really, really give us that. But if they're just going to give us Onslaught and not any of the other members, then just keep it at Onslaught. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. Anyways, I really hope they're in it. I want to see a combiner done with justice. I'm really, really liking this alt mode, this Western Star tow truck as Onslaught. Like I said, it's very, very fitting, and I can't wait to see him go head-to-head with Hound. I can't wait to see him go head-to-head with Optimus. It's going to be one hell of a fight. So anyways, the last thing I want to mention before we go out to Twitter shoutouts and questions is that this Decepticon lineup is a very good thing. Now, my favorite Transformers live-action film is the first one, and the reason why is because there weren't any Decepticon drones. Every Decepticon had their little moment to shine, and they kind of worked together as a team, but at the end of the day, we saw Autobot characters fighting Decepticon characters instead of Autobots fighting nameless Decepticon drones. Now, what I see right here are 4 very unique Decepticon alt modes, and which means that it could be 4 very unique Decepticons, although we have seen the possibility of drones, like for example, those military vehicles and also those black Lexus sedans. The fact is that we have 4 very unique alt modes for Decepticons, and they all seem to roll out together. And if they roll out together, that means they work together as a team. So this is looking very, very good. And I think they're taking a page out of the first Transformers film, and they're asking themselves what worked in the first Transformers film. Why do a lot of people like the first Transformers film so much compared to the sequels? And that is one of the reasons why I think the first one works a lot better than the sequels. We have Autobots versus actual Decepticons. Okay? So it looks like they're bringing more or less of that back, and that's a great thing. So I'm really excited about that. So Onslaught is a Western Star tow truck that is confirmed by Michael Bay, and this is only just the beginning. Okay, we saw Barricade, we saw Onslaught. Now we got to find out who the Volkswagen van is. It could be Swindle, and who the Confederate 61 motorcycle is. Who knows? But I'm hoping that the Apache will be confirmed as Vortex. I'm hoping, okay? Anyways, let's get into questions. The first question comes from Francesca Strapko. What role and how important of a role do you think Laura Haddock has? Now, I think... Now, this is a total guess, okay? I think Laura Haddock's role is going to be Cade's girlfriend. I'm just throwing it out there. I think it's Cade's girlfriend. I looked at her acting credits, and she has a lot of acting credits, and I almost thought she was going to have a small role, but then I looked at the acting credits of female characters in the previous sequels who've been in it, who've had smaller roles, and their list of credits is very, very tiny. So someone like Laura Haddock with a long list of acting credits, I'm pretty sure she's going to have a much bigger role. I don't think it's a super, super important role, but I kind of think that she's going to be Cade's girlfriend. That's what I think, okay? Or romantic love interest. Somebody that he has feelings for. Maybe he won't be his girlfriend, but somebody he has feelings for. Anyways, the next question comes from Austin Bittakofer. Do you think the Apache is Vortex and the Volkswagen hippie van is Swindle? I hope so. Okay? I don't think so. I hope so. I can't say that I think so just because we haven't seen enough evidence which shows that they could be one or the other, but it's like, I'm just thinking there's a 65-75% possibility that it's going to be Swindle and Vortex. I mean, why bring in Onslaught if you're not going to bring in the other guys, okay? Last question comes from Alan Lee Han Po. Do you think the Combaticons, if there's more than just Onslaught, will have beast modes? I don't think so. I think they're going to keep Combaticons as Combaticons. By having them have beast modes, that's going to, you either mean one of two things, and that is they go from, Onslaught is going to go from a tow truck to a beast, or they're going to be triple changers. That means tow truck, robot mode, beast mode. I don't think that's going to happen. Let's keep the Combaticons as Combaticons, okay? I think these are traditional Decepticons. The only character that I think is going to have a beast mode is Megatron. That's what I believe, okay? And that's it for questions. If you want to tweet me some more questions, make sure you can tweet them to me and put the hashtag The Road to TF5. So let's just do some Twitter shoutouts. If you followed me on Twitter and also if you retweeted my last video, then you'll get a shoutout randomly. Shoutouts go out to Supreme Mathematics, J Poozer Animations, Jacob Rodriguez, Alan Evans, Shy Towns 1, Ronnie, Iron Koenig Man, Jawan Johnson III, and Team Valor. And also Robbie Nelson. And that's all I gotta say in this episode. What do you guys think about Onslaught? Do you think we're gonna see the Combaticons? Do you think Swindle is the Volkswagen van and Vortex is going to be the Apache? And even if we are going to get Combaticons, who do you think are the other limbs? And do you think we're actually going to get Bruticus? I mean, this film has a story that is already so loaded right now that, you know, to bring in all these new elements is going to just be totally crazy. But anyways, that's all I gotta say, and those are my thoughts about Onslaught. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and as always, if you want to see more videos, and if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. My name's Alex Yu. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. It is really hot here, okay? So that's why I'm wearing a tank top. That it can do some serious damage, and there's no getting away from this. Once it drives into you, you are going to be flipped. Okay, now I did mention that